Jam on toast!
Hey everybody, we're going to go through, so I want to get through this as quick as possible. The very first thing that we wanted to talk about today was continuing our discussion about education of the children, and that there should be a recurring theme here. It's all about personal accountability. It is the parents' responsibility to teach their children, to educate their children, to take care of their children. It starts as soon as they pop out of the womb, some would argue beforehand. As soon as they are born, they start conditioning. All conditioning is a big fancy word for learning. You start learning things from the smallest of ages, and for some reason, nobody acknowledges this publicly as a society. That's where you start learning how to behave, how to act, what you can get away with. And that's the problem, is people have this horrible idea about kids being kids, and that's where people get their discipline problems from, because people do not educate their children from early on how to behave, how to act, and they let them get away with things. People are obsessed with this idea that kids need to be kids and not worry about being adults and being responsible for themselves and learn how to do things, so they do everything for them, so they are taught that someone is always going to be there to take care of them, that someone's always going to be their support, they do the things that they don't want to do, and that they can get away with not doing those things that are important for them to do. And that's all the more reason why kids should be... And that's all the more reason why kids should be educated early on, and they should be held back. They should be held accountable from a young age so that they're used to it, and they continue that practice as an adult. And it begins before our education systems, but it's somewhere that is standardized that we can control as a society. We don't have to worry about other people failing to address it to their kids and raise their kids improperly, which is part of what's wrong with society in America today, is that everybody is a less than great person. Now this brings me into the discipline problem. While hitting is not wrong, hitting is the wrong answer. You should have curbed that out of your kids long ago, and you should never have had to hit them in the first place. If they are acting out like that, they're either just horribly emotionally upset, or they're not realizing their dependency upon you and not respecting your dominance in the situation. It's a parent's responsibility to be accountable for their actions, which includes raising their children. And while I don't disagree with her popping them in the mouth, it was not the correct answer. The correct answer was to prevent it from ever happening. Being as she didn't have that, you have to use stronger conditioning techniques to overpower the old ones. I have to call a violation on you, John. I have to call it. I turned out fine is an unacceptable answer, because you're not fine, I'm not fine, no one's fine. Fine right now means you're a piece of crap who's just barely getting by. Fine should not be what it is. Fine should be acceptable. Fine should be exemplary. People use that as an excuse to raise their children how they were raised instead of making them better. Make them something proud to release into society and better the society as a whole. I also have to address the fact that while people are accountable for their children, that means that other people should be able to call them out on it. If that child is crying and causing disturbance in a public place, that is your fault if you are the parent. So other people can hold you accountable for it. So I do think it should be standardized, and I do think we should be in each other's business. And this leads back to my philosophy on government. The government should be ran by the people. Every single person should be an enforcing agent. But that's not how it is. That's not how it's going to be, because you can't depend on the quality of people to do so. People abuse it. Dominance theory. The first is very simple. I want something from you, so I'm going to beat you up and take it. That's the bully was after your lunch money. That's physical dominance. The second is sexual dominance. The best example of this is money. I want your milk, so I'm going to pay you for it. As long as I've got money, I can get whatever I want. The third type is food dominance. Food dominance means that anything that you eat as food, you're not going to be better than you. And in the natural capitalistic world, that's dominance. Thanks for the jam. We'll be your toast. I'm Cameron. Have a nice